Hi, welcome back to the farm. We're doing our winter farm tour. It is maybe a little late in the winter. We were also late in the fall, so this may be becoming a trend. um, but last weekend we had 18 inches or so of snow, so we were going to film it then, and then we couldn't because you wouldn't have been able to see anything. So here we are in what feels like spring, still February, winter. Lots has changed. Let's go. So I was just saying how I don't feel a lot has changed over here, but Kevin disagrees. It's just taken a back seat with everything else we've been doing, so I haven't been focusing on the bowl. But we did, transplant this old Japanese maple tree in the center there, right in front of our arbor. So hopefully it survives. We did it right before some really cold weather, but we didn't really have a choice. We had to move it because grading was happening and earthworks was happening around it. So hopefully it survives. If it doesn't, it was just half a day of work, I guess, but worth a try. And this is the most exciting part, is the paddocks. And they're all fenced, and we've just finished graveling all of them. So we were able to move them in just before our snow, the horses in. We didn't have all the paddocks totally finished. We only had two. So two of the horses, Rose and Willow, had to buddy up. But today we're going to finish laying mats in the third one. So we'll be able to actually separate them, and each one will have their own paddock. And I just think it looks like what I had pictured in my brain. So that's always cool. And we've got, let's see. So this green post isn't anything, but the one right across our little swale there is where a lamp post is gonna go. And we'll do another one mirroring the other side. This swale we dug in to catch the water coming off of the house and shop. And it just flows down to where the pond is gonna go, which is what we're starting next, I think is on the docket next to start that. Our beautiful porta potty is still here. Nice view. Okay. Ta-da! This has been really nice the last couple weeks to have the horses up here. I mean, obviously they're not here right now. They're turned out on grass, but it's been so nice and such, like, I can sleep better at night knowing they're not in these tarped, sort of falling apart temporary sheds, and they seem happier, a little more comfortable, so that's good. So should we check them out? And I don't think none of this was done. So this is our nice little walkway, I guess. It's not meant to be a driveway or anything, just for me to feed and take the muck cart through, our little fancy culvert. And we're gonna extend this dark gravel and kind of make these little pathways to each 8-foot gate. So obviously we're not creating mud, and we'll put some like space between our little walkway and the fence to plant some stuff, do some low maintenance hedging or something, to just soften it up a little bit. And I think I'm toying with the idea of painting the sheds a different color. We'll see. We'll see this summer how ambitious I'm feeling. Okay, so this fencing's pretty cool. It's a steel board fencing. So they're hollow, but it's all metal, and each one like slides in to each post, but it will give under a certain like poundage of weight. So they will break away if a horse gets really stuck in there, but they're not, like, they can't chew them down. There's no nails, there's no screws. So if they do pop out, there's not going to be like tetanus sitting there waiting to happen. So that is nice peace of mind for me. And these gates are awesome. They're an easy latch gate. So you just slide it open. This might be a little loud, but what's nice, if you have like a wild horse or something, you can just push the gate and it latches itself, which is really nice. So this is the paddock we need to finish up today. But you can kind of get a feel anyway for, obviously we have some fence rails missing. Those are the last ones I need to do. And then we need to install the mats and stuff. But these paddocks are 48 feet north to south this way and 40 feet wide. And then the sheds are a 12 by 12 stall with an 8-foot overhang. So really, there's no weather getting into those stalls, which is really nice. Especially since they're, really open. It's an 8-foot opening. So, and I did that on purpose so that if I needed to, which luckily we did need to put 2 horses in one, it would be safe for them to kind of both be going in and out, and passing each other at the same time and whatever. So, let's see, in between each of these sheds, there is a free frost hydrant, which is really nice, right next to the water troughs. So it's really easy to fill them. And of course, it just makes life easier if you can do that. And since we were, doing all this work and trenching and stuff anyway, might as well bring water out. So this is our aisleway. So the way we planned this out was 4 sheds and paddocks, a 16-foot aisle, which actually would come out a little farther here, and then mirroring this on this side. We knew we wouldn't need to build 8 paddocks right now because we only have 3 horses, and at the time we only had 4 horses. So what we're gonna do is do all of our underlayment all the way through, which is this gridding stuff. I don't know if you can see that. And then on this other side, we're gonna make it our arena for now. Because it's gonna be gridded, it's gonna have drainage, it's flat, otherwise it would just be sitting there being empty space. So that's gonna be so nice to finally have a flat space to ride, an arena that'll have drainage. I'm excited because all I've got is hills on grass, which is fine, but it's also a lot. Anyway, we don't need to go into horse exercising, but there's 2 stakes here in the middle, and we're putting 2 more lamp posts here, kind of on either side of our little gum tree. Which way do you want to go now? Straight down the partway aisle? Oh yeah, so we did these Dutch doors, which I really like because when it's raining, I can close it, or when it was snowing or really windy, we get a lot of wind here, so it's nice to be able to close it. And they are, they can come in and be enclosed on 3 sides and really be protected from the weather. And this overhang comes over far enough that really it doesn't get wet in here. Which is just really nice. And then, having it open when it's nice or during the day, they really like to stick their head out and look out and see what's going on. And then these were an awesome find. These are grain doors. So I can open it and you can hang a bucket on here, put the handle through there and close it. So anybody who's maybe not comfortable with horses or used to horses, or if you've got, our horses are good, but if we had a boarder or somehow ended up with a horse who was like not good about feeding grain, nobody would have to go in there. You just put it in the door and close it, and it's easy. So that's been fun to be able to use, and be able to use all this stuff that's been sitting in our shop for a year. Okay, we have culvert number 2. So this is about, it's a little wider than the aisle, but this is how I'm gonna be able to, once the barn's built, just come right outside my hay storage and just wheel the cart down the aisle and feed really easily. So I'm being patient, but I can't wait to just have this distance to go rather than all the way up at the shop, which is closer than from the shop all the way to the back pasture. So we're getting there. Let's maybe go this way, because that's kind of how we went the last time, I think. So right now we're on what's going to be the driveway coming in front of the barn. So these 2 stakes are going to be the south side of the barn, and it'll stop. We don't have stakes there anymore. Right about where you are, Kevin. In there somewhere. So this will be driveway. So it'll be super easy for hay trucks and farriers and vets to come through, and it'll connect to our lower driveway. And then we'll pull this driveway, and it'll kind of fork right here. So it'll go in front of the barn and then loop around to right behind the barn. And we'll move the garden or expand the garden, like we mentioned before, to quite a bit bigger. And finally plant those apple trees that have been sitting in front of the shop for a couple seasons, since, I don't know, summer, I think I got them. Okay, so this is behind the barn driveway. Oh, so nice. And you can see where we've started to bring the actual road up. But obviously we're not gonna gravel this until the barn is done, because it's just gonna get torn up when they dig out the foundation and everything. So for now, this is just where we'll stop with this driveway. Behind you, I planted even more trees, which are probably hard to see because they're so little, but I planted, I think, 6 more trees down there. More birches and willows and pretty stuff. Okay, I actually haven't stood here and looked down this way yet without dogs pulling on me and stuff. This is nice. This looks good. Okay, so there's a little spot that you can drive onto future paddock / what's going to be our arena. So there's some easy access there, and we will have a drive that goes around the east side of the front of the paddocks and around the arena to connect here. So if you need to take the tractor around or whatever, it's just going to be accessible, which is nice. This fence wasn't here last time, so we put the fencing in. That was awesome. They did it in I think it was 2 days. They put 360-70 feet of fencing in, and they did a good job, and it looks good. It's so nice for us to see. We can see it from up on the hill in the south pasture there. It's been really nice. And all of our trenches have been filled in, and most of the dirt piles are gone. Still have the one left. The garbage is gone. That's nice. That feels good. So down there, that's what we've said will be our future arena. And I think, we'll just smooth it out, cast some grass, and I'll just for now use it as sort of a grass arena in the summer. It'll be kind of flattish, and we can set more jumps out there than we can up here. It'd just be another place to ride for now that's got different footing, which is always good for the event horses. Okay, so swale, number 2, our north swale. So I put some jute not fabric, but like netting down, just, you know, when we do get a lot of rain. This is mostly sand, so it'll wash out pretty quick. And this isn't totally done, but it's done up to where I've stopped planting. So we've got this side I kind of wanted to have a low maintenance, but like a really pretty winterscape spot. So there's some globe blue spruces, which will get bluer as they age, and some red twig dogwoods. And these are all birch trees. So they should do pretty well here, getting as much water as they get. And once everything's grown, I think, you know, those, especially the red dogwoods in the snow, would be so pretty, but not this year. They're not big enough to really show up this year. So this little rock pile is where our drainage comes out for the sheds. So it's actually all piped through, and there's like, what did he call it? Not a bubbler, but like a... Yeah, either way, it's not just like an open pipe where water can just shoot out. It's kind of it's like perforated, so it can slowly kind of flow out and not like wash out this spot. So that's kind of cool. And then we added a couple more rocks. We've got some bigger rocks we're gonna add in here as well. So not really a lot left to do on this side. I mean, all of this brush just needs to be cleaned up. And, you know, the dirt pile up there will smooth out over here, and I can seed with grass. And that's, you know, as done as it's gonna be for now, for the next decade probably. So from about here, this hillside is still gonna get worked on. Obviously the swale still needs to have a little work done with it, and all this will need to be dug out. And I think we're gonna try and move this maple tree, see if we can save it. It's been hit a few times with the excavator, but I know, kind of the same with the other old maple. It's definitely not gonna survive if we don't try to transplant it, so might as well try. See how it goes. And it's so nice having this driveway done and not like overgrown and kind of unused looking. So, I mean, this is probably the biggest difference down here, is just getting this driveway in. And we decided to go ahead and spread it out to the fence. So when big trucks pull in, they really have the room to like make the turn, and they're not gonna run over plants or anything. So, you know, hopefully it's more comfortable for them to pull in, and then they can pull out through our the gate by the house. And you know, that's a little easier coming out than coming in. So that's where we are. Did I forget anything? We're almost done. Only like a year left of work to do. So the next on the list is digging out our pond, you know, finishing our swale, digging out our pond. What's the word I'm looking for? Like dialing in this east side slope and getting stuff planted, hopefully, so before the next time we get a bunch of rain, there's something that can grow and root in and help hold that hillside in there. Moxie, come here. Oh, that's a good girl. She was looking for us. That's a good girl. Good doggy. Oh, good doggy. Good girl. She did have, when we were putting in our gravel here, she's been really good about staying on the property, but when this gate was open, she decided going across the street and hanging out on the street was maybe a fun spot to be. It only lasted a couple days, thankfully, and she was wearing her bright orange coat, thankfully. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Digging the ponds next, and then putting in the arena. I'm gonna kind of slowly do the underlayment myself, and then we can add the gravel and the sand and get that done. And we are partway through the permitting process with the barn. So, I mean, the hope is that by the end of the year, we'll be really wrapping up our project, our phase 1 projects, which is this whole, it was a pretty big phase 1, it's this whole area, the barn and everything. And hopefully we can also find time to really expand our garden and grow some stuff and make our farm stand kind of area on this side, and actually start selling some produce and of course eggs, because we do get quite a few eggs through the warmer months. Yeah, I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.
There's something in the air.